So, you're planning a trip to Walt Disney World in June. You've got these amazing images of Cinderella Castle and fireworks in your head, but then reality hits. You start thinking about the summer crowds, the Florida heat, and the peak season prices. It can get overwhelming fast, and that fear of missing out or totally blowing your budget is real. But what if you had the insider strategy to not just survive that June chaos, but actually win it? Well, that's exactly what we're here to do. In the next few minutes, we're getting the ultimate guide to Disney World in June. We're going to cover how to beat the crowds, conquer the heat, save serious money, and see everything that's new and exciting. Think of this as your secret blueprint for a perfect summer vacation. All right, so let's get right to it. Let's talk about the crowds. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. June is a busy month at Disney World. School's out, summer vacation is in full swing, and crowd levels are consistently high, often hitting an 8 or 9 out of 10. But busy doesn't have to ruin your trip. It just means we need a smarter plan than everyone else. Your best weapon against crowds is early theme park entry. This is a special perk just for guests staying at Disney Resort hotels and a few partner hotels. It gets you into any of the 4 theme parks 30 minutes before the official opening. Now, 30 minutes might not sound like much, but trust me, it's a golden window. You can knock out 1, maybe even 2 of the biggest rides before the parks are flooded with people. We're talking about rides like Tron Light Cycle Run at Magic Kingdom or Sleeking Dog Dash in Hollywood Studios, which will have insane wait times later in the day. To really make this work, you need to be at the gates at least 30 to 45 minutes before early entry even starts. It's a super early morning, I get it, but the payoff is huge. Once the park opens for everyone, it's time to switch gears. This is when the My Disney Experience app and the Genie Plus service can become your absolute best friend. Now, Genie Plus is a paid service, and the price changes daily, but in the middle of June, I can't recommend it enough. It lets you book Lightning Lane access for dozens of attractions, so you can skip the standby line. The key is being ready to go right at 7 a.m. on the dot when you can make your first selection. I'd aim for those popular second-tier headliners, since the biggest rides like Tron or Guardians of the Galaxy often use a separate individual Lightning Lane purchase or a virtual queue. And here's a pro tip for Genie Plus that will change your day. It's called stacking. As the day goes on, you can book Lightning Lanes for arrival times that are later in the afternoon or evening. By late afternoon, you could have 3 or 4 reservations stacked up and ready to go. This lets you bounce from ride to ride with no waiting while everyone else is waiting in the sun. Let's also talk about which parks to hit on which days. Weekends are almost always busier because of locals and people starting or ending their trips. Midweek days like Tuesday and Wednesday are usually a little bit calmer. A great strategy is to start your morning at one of the super popular parks like Magic Kingdom or Hollywood Studios, use early entry in Genie Plus to get ahead, and then use a park hopper ticket to jump over to a quieter park in the afternoon, like Epcot or Animal Kingdom. Okay, now let's talk about the other big challenge of a June trip, the weather. Orlando in June is hot and humid, no doubt about it. We're talking daily highs in the low 90s, but with that Florida humidity, it feels way hotter. On top of that, June is the official start of the rainy season, so you can pretty much count on a short, intense thunderstorm rolling through almost every afternoon. So, how do you handle it? The best advice is to work with the weather, not against it. Plan to use the cooler mornings for outdoor rides and exploring. And when the sun is at its most brutal, from about 1 to 4 p.m., it's really time for a strategic retreat. And here's what I mean. This is the absolute perfect time to head back to your resort for a swim and a nap. A midday break is the best way to recharge your family's batteries and dodge the worst of the heat and the crowds. You can head back to the park in the late afternoon feeling fresh and ready to enjoy the evening when the temperatures are way more comfortable. If you don't want to leave the park, your new best friends are air conditioning and water. This is when you schedule your indoor shows like Festival of the Lion King in Animal Kingdom or Mickey's PhilharMagic at Magic Kingdom. Plan a long, relaxing lunch at an indoor restaurant. And for those afternoon storms, just be ready for them. They show up fast and usually leave just as quickly. A cheap poncho you bought back home will be a lifesaver. It's way less expensive than the ones in the parks. And when the rain starts, don't just duck into the nearest store with everyone else. This is actually a great time to get in line for a popular indoor ride while other people are waiting out the storm. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about budget. A Disney World vacation isn't cheap, and a trip during peak summer season can feel even more expensive. But there are definitely ways to save a lot of money without giving up any of the magic. First, let's talk about where you're staying. Staying in a Disney resort is a huge plus because of all the perks like early entry and free transportation. But you don't have to book a deluxe resort. Disney's value resorts like Pop Century or the All-Star resorts can be a great option with June rates that often fall in the $200 to $350 a night range, depending on the week and demand. Just be sure to book as early as you can. By staying on site, you also save a ton on the transportation. Theme park parking is currently $35 a day, and that could easily go up. Over a 5-day trip, that's over $175 you just saved by using the free Disney buses, monorail, or Skyliner. Now let's talk tickets. The price per day changes based on when you visit, and June is a premium month. But the per day cost of a ticket goes down the more days you buy. A single day ticket is pricey, but a 5-day ticket breaks down to a much lower cost per day. If your schedule allows, plan a longer trip to get more value out of each park day. Food is another place where your budget can get out of hand. My number one tip here is to use mobile ordering in the My Disney Experience app for your counter service meals. Not only does it save you from waiting in another line, but it lets you see the menu and prices ahead of time so you can make smarter choices. Another huge money saver is to bring your own snacks and a reusable water bottle. You are allowed to bring food into the parks, so pack granola bars, crackers, and anything else that travels well. And with free water refill stations all over the parks, you'll never have to buy a plastic water bottle. Finally, set a souvenir budget before you leave home. It is so easy to get swept up and overspend. A great trick is to give each of your kids a Disney gift card with their budget preloaded. It gives them some freedom, teaches them about budgeting, and stops the constant, "Can I have this? Can I have that?" questions. You can also save by doing your souvenir shopping at Disney Springs. The huge World of Disney store has almost everything you'll find in the parks, all in one place. And since parking at Disney Springs is free, it's a great spot to visit when you arrive or on the day you leave. If you're finding these strategies helpful and want to make more Disney planning even easier, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'm always sharing latest tips and news to help you have an amazing trip, and it really helps me create more guides just like this one for you. So, what might be special about June? Well, if you're visiting at the very beginning of the month, you might just catch the tail end of a beautiful festival, like the Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival. Typically runs through late May or early June, so it might still be going on if you're going in the very beginning of June. Now, while the exact dates aren't confirmed, if you're lucky enough to be there, you'll see Epcot transformed with stunning gardens, character topiaries, and amazing outdoor kitchens. It's a must-do if your dates line up. As for rides, all of the headliners are usually up in the month of June. This includes the incredibly popular Tiana's Bayou Adventure and Tron Light Cycle Run at Magic Kingdom, and the thrilling Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind at Epcot. These are the hottest tickets in all of Disney World, so make sure you use those strategies we talked about, like early entry and Lightning Lane, to make sure you get to ride those rides. One last thing to be aware of, June is a popular time for youth sports competitions at the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex. While this doesn't usually make the park lines longer, it can mean the value resorts are busier and maybe a little louder. It's just something to keep in mind when you're picking your hotel. And there you have it, folks. So that's your guide. That's your game plan for taking on Walt Disney World in June. Look, it's going to be crowded. It's going to be hot, no doubt about it. But if you go in with a smart strategy, you can skip the worst of the line, stay cool, and save a ton of money. Just remember to start early, take the midday break, use Genie Plus like a pro, and have your budget ready. A summer trip to Disney World can be truly magical, and now you have the insider knowledge to make it happen. I really hope this guide helps you plan an amazing vacation. I really, really do. But what are you most excited about for your trip? Let me know in the comments below. I love hearing about your plans and helping with any questions you might have. And for more Disney planning guides and all the latest news, make sure you subscribed and have a magical day. And until next time, take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll talk to you soon.